Welcome and thank you for attending Landmark Christian School's webinar on our Academy approach with our fashion, our film, our visual arts, and our music academies. We've had some questions about the Academy approach, what it means, and what it looks like to be involved in the academies. We do have other academies. We have the Leadership Academy, the Engineering Academy, and the Aviation Academy. We'll be discussing those academies in a separate webinar. But tonight, as we talk through fashion, film, visual arts, and music academies, I first wanted to simply explain the academy approach that we have adopted here at Landmark and what that means. It means that we are working our students through the design thinking process to create authentic, relevant learning artifacts. In fact, in our educational philosophy, we have a phrase where we talk about the artifacts of learning that are important to show, to demonstrate student knowledge and process. And that's really the heart behind the academies, that they are classes that are project-based, that rely on mentorship and the iterative process. And so the academy approach, while it talks about specific courses that we offer, it's really also a mentality, a way of working students through and nurturing their talent and their passions. So the academy approach, we've defined academies as 2 years of consecutive study in a particular elective. The student must apply and gain admission into the mentorship program, and we'll talk through that for each academy tonight. The student must complete 50 hours of independent study towards a capstone project that's documented to the satisfaction of the teacher. And there are little requirements that vary per academy that the teachers will each talk through tonight as well, that are just tailored for that particular subject area. And finally, it's the presentation of a capstone project or a portfolio of learning. For example, fashion show, artist spotlight, film screening. And you'll learn more about these approaches tonight from our various faculty. So the questions that I'm hoping you'll have answered tonight are these questions. How will a student apply for an academy? How will a student know if he or she is in an academy? How will a student keep track of his or her independent study hours? How will a student showcase his or her portfolio or capstone project? But I know you'll get far more than just simply the answers to the questions from the teachers who have prepared for you tonight. You'll get inspiration and probably leave with having a difficult time deciding how you're going to direct your child, as I know we struggle with that with all the wonderful course offerings and mentorship that we have here at Landmark. So to start us off, and let me speak briefly to recognition, because I know this is an important piece of being in this specialized differentiated program. I want to make clear what the recognition is for our students who are Academy graduates. So each student will, upon completion, successful completion of being in an academy, that includes some sort of showcase night. Again, you'll hear more about that from the teachers, but that's a fashion show, a film screening, an art show, or an artist spotlight. It's also recognition in the graduation program as an academy graduate. We have several signifiers in the program about different achievements and honors that our students have earned over the course of their time at Landmark. And being an academy graduate is one of those distinctions. Also, academy graduates are recognized at baccalaureate, and they're recognized at graduation. They typically stand as their academy is mentioned. And academy graduates are given a cord to wear at graduation. So those are some of the ways that we promise to recognize our students who do take on this separate path of study that does require, as you will learn, a lot of self-direction and a lot of extra hours and a lot of perseverance. But now I would like to move it over to Ms. Shannon McBride, our Fashion Academy instructor, to be able to lead us through her academy and all that she offers. Shannon, you're muted.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so for the Fashion Academy student, they are going to learn garment construction, They're going to learn the creation process from very, very, very beginning stages to the end. And the end result is a portfolio that they can then take with them online to either apply for scholarships, admissions to various art schools, internship programs, assistant contract positions, or just market themselves as an independent contractor in the design industry with various opportunities. Also, the end result is to also for them to learn to be able to retail their designs as they make them. So they're going to learn all about the textile industry, the fashion industry, the garment construction process, marketing, retail, fashion world, high fashion, commercial fashion, marketing, business, and illustration. So examples of student work, right now the program is building in the middle school with the goal to build up many experienced students in high school. So this year is actually the first year that I have high school students starting the classes, and then the majority of my classes right now are in middle school building. So student work at the middle school level has currently included hoodies, shorts, bags, other accessory items that they're really interested in sewing. We're doing projects based off commercial patterns right now. They are not creating their own original works. They're just getting all the basics down. So right now I'm heavily focused on foundational skills so that they have the skills to make their own ideas come to life when they go into the Fashion Academy in high school. The Academy fee is $150 per semester. So a year-long class is $300. And what this fee covers is bulk fabric and supplies costs. So students have a variety of fabrics to choose from in the classroom that I'm selecting so that I know the fabrics that they're picking will be suitable for what they're making. I'm also able to purchase more in bulk and a greater variety rather than have students buying small quantities of retail fabric at full price. So that's what that fee is covering. Some of the benefits for students studying this academy, kind of like I said earlier about what the students are going to learn, they're going to acquire skills and experience in putting together portfolios that can be submitted to art schools for entry and scholarships. Students will also have the skills, experience, and resources to actually retail their creations while they're still in high school, which is kind of cool. And they can carry that on, as long as they wish. Students will also be able to network with an online portfolio presence to gain contract work, internships, and jobs. The current student, how does the current student apply for the 21-22 Fashion Academy? So since this is the first year that the first class of the Fashion Academy is offered at the high school level, because of that, all the current students that are in that class right now are not eligible to receive a Fashion Academy recognition and graduation until the 22-23 school year. So I do have a couple seniors in my class. They are not going to be able to graduate with the Fashion Academy recognition because they haven't completed all of the requirements for that academy. However, all of the other freshmen, sophomore, and junior students would have the opportunity for the next school year. So there will be no current student applications for the 21-22 school year for a Fashion Academy recognition and graduation. So that kind of answers the next question is, how do current students know if they're in the academy? How do current parents know if their child is in the academy? Students must apply. So I do have a form, and it's a Google form application, and they need to fill it out by June 1st, 2022. So that's into the school year this year, and then they'll be accepted into the program based on their form. Right now, like I said, only freshmen, sophomore, and junior level students in the year one fashion class right now are going to be able to apply for that June 1st. And my contact information, if you need more information about the program or have questions, or maybe a student already has a lot of experience and wants to come in second year, I'm more than happy to kind of look at the skills of right where they're at. I know a lot of students might start this hobby and might, enter into Landmark at a later time in their education. If they come in as a sophomore or junior, I'd be happy to look at them at an individual level and see where they would fit in. And my information is smcbride@landmark-cs.org. And my phone number is 770-827-7403. Thank you very much. And again, I am Ms. Shannon McBride, and I'm director of the Fashion Academy. And I love this class. It's super awesome. It's super fun. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you so much, Mrs. McBride. The Fashion Academy application link is in the chat box, and I'll have your contact information showing again at the end of this. And I understand that you probably need to jump off. So thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Thank y'all very much.
And then next up, we have Mr. Dixon, our Film Academy faculty. Oh, let me unmute you. There you go, Asta.
Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. Maybe not.
Oh, yep.
Nope. Yes. Nope.
Yeah, looks great.
Okay. I think I lost everything by doing that.
Oh, it looks great for us. We see what
Okay.
the Film Academy student learned.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Billy Dixon, and I'm head of the Film Academy. So, I guess I'd like to start with, what does the Film Academy student learn? And for the sake of just getting this right for everybody, I'll read what I have here. Each student taking the Academy track will benefit from one-on-one attention from the instructor. That would probably be me at this point. As each student travels closer along the path of filmmaking and refines their interest in the field, we'll be able to focus more on the attention of those unique areas. Filmmaking consists of many facets: screenwriting, directing, acting, cinematography, production design, sound, editing, producing, and distribution. We want to share the tools with the students that allow them to enter college with a more refined knowledge and direction, or give them the tools to understand the equipment to work with as an apprentice or small production company based on their knowledge. This is a big advancement to them to have much of the knowledge schools like the Georgia Film Academy teach and help place their students in industry jobs. Some of the examples of the students' work, we don't have any at this point because we are so new. The Film Academy is in its first year. We're excited to see interest in the program. Right now I have 3 very interested students. One is a senior who has done quite a bit last year, so she will maintain her 50 hours of goal to graduate with the honor of Film Academy. And she's right now processing her capstone project. Our goal will be to give these interested students the ability to go further in their studies by giving them more individual training. This will give them a heads up on being able to go into a film school or college with more advanced knowledge that other high schools simply don't offer. The Academy basic fee is $150 like the other ones. However, each student is required to complete at least one film project and enter it into a film festival. Here are some of their financial and time needs depending on script and size of project. Some or none of these could apply, but there's a possibility of more money to be invested in the child's film. Time away from school, managing shooting over several locations, could be Christmas vacation, winter, spring break. Those are all good times to get together to work on these films. The cost of locations, sometimes it can be a flat fee, a donation. It's difficult for students to tell the stories at the school because locations of school hallways and gymnasiums don't usually lead to the best and more outstanding storytelling. They need real life locations like homes, restaurants, visual places of interest. So locations is very important to their films. Transportation to provide means to get production set to gear. This could be cameras, lights, props, wardrobes, anything that falls along the line of filmmaking. Sometimes the items are large, so you may need to rent a truck or borrow a truck from somebody. Most camera, lights, and studio and other equipment are transported on the truck to location for filming. Um, there are times when certain actors require their own dressing room. If we were to cast someone from the outside and Screen Actors Guild as a favor for the film, they may not be paid, but they need certain things like a place for makeup and wardrobe and a dressing room to sit in. These can also be used as small production offices. Set decoration is needed to dress a set. Those are little things, but these items can be bought, rented, or brought from home. This is a period piece. Any special props that they're needed. Simple items like a chair and table can be difficult to move. So students need to rent a small space to use a mini storage space or sound stage, especially when building something that's not available. What are the construction costs for the set? Landmark provides a small space in its film studio for a bedroom size set or a simple living room, dining room, along with a 15 by 15 green screen. So Landmark does have certain things they can provide in the school. Costumes are an issue if they need any special costumes made, if it's a period piece, or materials they need for a seamstress. Special equipment, lighting, camera. We have a tentative deal with a camera rental house in town that has quite a bit of equipment that they are willing to donate to the school for use in some of these films. So depending on things that are unavailable, they may need to rent them. Talent. Lots of professional talent is available, but they need to be reimbursed for their travel and their food. Casting directors help us find these people and secure them, but they might need a stipend fee. Shooting long hours on these films requires food, snacks, and water for crew. That's very important. The crew will run on food, especially when they're working for nothing. Food is the #1 item on a film set, especially for a no budget or student film. Other locations may need a film permit around the city, even though it is a film project for a student. Some cities do require film permits to be secured, and you may have to buy a small insurance policy for that. Most of these things aren't locked in stone. You can get friends, family, everything else to pitch in and help you find these things. So these are just some of the things I wanted you to be aware of in case the project is bigger than we thought. But we try to maintain them when writing the scripts, and we try to realize that during our pre-production stages of designing these film projects, so these fees are minimized on many levels. So what are some of the basic benefits to students studying this term in college careers? There are many areas in all businesses for the knowledge of filmmaking. This could be a job in law, marketing, real estate, and so on. Each new business hires specialty jobs for social media marketing and teaching. With these new skills that these students have, they can go out and start applying for these jobs in these different fields, not just the entertainment industry, but these different fields. Knowing the equipment and the basics enhance the resume in many fields, including entertainment, but not limited to. So it's just not the entertainment field that they can go after. It's so many other directions they can go. Atlanta is the second most busiest hub for filmmaking in the US. It's become one of the largest in the world. Tax breaks and incentives in the state have boosted production and their need for a new fresh talent in all fields to fill these jobs. So there's a big market out there, especially locally, for students to become a part of this industry here that is vastly needed for help and creativity. So current students apply directly to me for the admission to the Academy. They'll go through a small formal application and a formal interview. The student might be required to show some of his already processed films and stories that he's already completed or she has completed. And a prerequisite of 1 year of formal high school film class is required. So you have to go through at least one film class to become an Academy member. How do you know? I think Landmark and myself will send out a certificate stating that their son or daughter is engaged in the Film Academy and is responsible for completing the requirements on the 2-year program. Each year, they will be evaluated on their progress. The capstone project each year will be a night that showcases their films they've done through the 2 years of the Academy. Hopefully, it will be a standalone night for them that they can celebrate with their parents and friends, and maybe even include industry people who will come and watch the films for them. So my contact information is bdixon@landmarkcs.org. And any other questions, you can contact me through email there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Billy. Appreciate it. Excited to see that first screening this spring. That's really going to be an awesome launching of your program. All right, now, and I put I dropped the link to the Film Academy application also in the chat. And if a student is interested in any of these applications for the 21-22 school year, then we would ask that they have that filled out by June 1st. And the teachers are working with their current students in class to make sure that any applications that they're filling them out or have filled them out, so that that line is clear between who's a current student in the Academy or not. And now we'll transition to Mrs. Gilkeson, our Visual Arts Academy instructor extraordinaire.
Thank you. And Billy, that was awesome. Thank you. You made my head spin. That sounds so exciting. I am Shelia Gilkeson, currently directing the visual arts in this arm of the Academy. And I'm going to try and share my screen with you in just a moment. Let's see. Let's see, best way. Maybe I could do it this way.
If you like, I can pull up the slides. You shared them with me. Do you want me to?
Well, there, I've updated them. I think I can do this. I think I can do this. Can I? I'm a fail, I think, on this. Oh, here we go. Can we see it?
Yes. Awesome.
Okay. All right. And let's do start from the beginning. How about that? That's a good place. I can't make this go away though. Oh, I'm sorry. Can we talk amongst ourselves while we do this? All right. Well, can we just do it this kind of bootleg way? I don't know.
Absolutely. I actually prefer it that way because it's hard to navigate from slide to slide.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And so basically, what does the Academy learn? Sorry for the misspell. We'll be investigating all year long, developing and refining a body of work. We have this awesome opportunity called revision. They're going to learn how to pace themselves in the way of production to create this series. They know they're facing a show, so that is a great checkpoint. And for time management, at the end of the day, there's this great satisfaction that they take from taking a vision from thumbnail all the way to a show wall. So that's cool. I guess I should probably show you some, let's see, what kind of work are we producing? Currently, this is John Willis. These are some fresh off the press, haven't even been shown works. Some are digital and some are traditional. Here's a little, his focus is just trying to make characters move. Here's some works from Peter Chapman from last year. He worked in traditional media and so he was encompassing how do I illustrate my fears? And so this is some of his work. Here's a graduate from 2018, and she'll be graduating from SCAD this year. And here's some of her photographic work. And this is what maybe how the show might look. Some ways the show might look. Here's some collaged images. They'll have approximately 10 to 12 pieces that they might show. And they'll do a self-portrait in the investigating the question of their choice. It will fit the theme in their portrait, and they'll show that at their capstone show. In terms of a career connection in college, how can the visual arts study benefit? Basically, there's this great peer interaction that happens, and collaboration with a studio feel, working with like-minded artists, this melting pot, the stew pot environment. It helps in problem solving, stimulation, all of it. The collaborative is a big, huge benefit. In terms of college, I think it's pretty obvious how this could help. But there have been kids to put together a portfolio who weren't even art majors, but they were actually going for a great scholarship. And this was just a fabulous way to show a different level of them and a whole different side of them. But professors love to see process and revision and development and problem solving. And so we document all of that from the beginning thumbnail sketch all the way through to the completion. We are currently planning a Zoom session with a couple of professors from SCAD, which is nice. They can sit in and look at images from students and talk to them about their current work and give them input. Then also just exposure to the industry through some of the connections that we have with our alumni and with our working staff here. Also, one of the big, huge things that I've found for these kids are they are developing this language about their work and being able to speak about their work and writing artist statements, being able to articulate, verbalize the work that they've created is a big plus, especially when they're interviewing for money and position, things like that. So the next, how about a current student? How do they apply? We're currently closed for applications at this point. We have 5, I think, that stand to graduate with the honors of the Academy. But we will reopen those, I guess, also again in June. Ms. Harrington has those applications in hand, and they'll be available with a link. And so I guess the last thing is, let's see, let's just do this. My contact information is sgilkeson@landmark-cs.org, just like everybody else's, and you can reach me there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The art show is an amazing highlight of our spring, and I'm really looking forward to it. All right, well, we are going to transition to our last presenter today, which is Mr. Harrington, our lead faculty for Music Academy.
Hello. I am going to share my screen. I thought for Music Academy, how appropriate would it be for me to start with some music? So I'm going to show a little sampler of several of our pieces of music. So what you're about to hear is performed by students, produced by students, written by students. Each year, we'll probably do 10 to 15 field trips to record at my studio in Peachtree City. So here is our sampler.
Dream or wish upon a star, but one that's close and not too far. But that's a real life dancing only tonight. Heartbeat slow down. It's better for you if you're not around. You can log out or I'll shut you down. He's mine. Catching waves will slow it live. Wanna step into the night. Got a million more things on my mind. Turn up the sound, listen now. Use your voice, make some noise and shout. You make me wanna go, wanna go. I won't hesitate. I'm going all the way. Will I keep losing to the tide? I've been feeling like I'm underwater. I feel the waves as they crash over me.
All right. So we do lots of analysis of songs. We start from the very, very beginning and move through the whole process of how you'd create those finished products. Students are going to analyze everything from Stevie Wonder to Taylor Swift. And we pull out the stuff that's common between both of those styles, the stuff that's universal, the stuff that no matter what style you go to is always going to be true. So we'll do song analysis, we look at theory, and all of this is context-based. We're looking at a song and we're asking questions, what chords do I use with my melody? Why does this melody work with these chords? So the students need to understand this to make intelligent decisions while they're writing. We'll talk about music business. There's an optional contract for Music Academy. Students have the option to be part of our publishing company. We have distribution in Los Angeles, and some of the music that you just heard, it has already been delivered to our publisher in LA and has the potential to get pitched for film and TV. So students could be earning on their art while they're in high school, which is awesome. In terms of what students are using in class, Pro Tools is on all the student stations as well as in our school recording studio. Pro Tools is the industry standard. We have a bunch of industry standard virtual instruments and writing tools on the stations that the kids use. They're using all the same stuff that they're going to see in a professional studio that they go work in. We have master classes. Last year, we were so blessed. We had Rhett Aiken come speak to students through a Zoom in the middle of the pandemic. It still amazes me we were able to get him. Rhett Aiken is a Grammy Award-winning country songwriter. He's worked with Luke Bryant and a bunch of other very heavy artists in that business. And so during a masterclass, students got to ask questions about his songwriting process, which is really valuable. We do an artist spotlight. And actually, while I'm doing this, I'll show you some photos. Here we go. So we have the programs connect between middle school and high school. I've got middle schoolers recording high schoolers, and the training that's happening between their prepares students for the days when they're in 9th through 12th grade for our high school. We record drums in the band room. And this is my studio in Peachtree City, and students get to spend time there recording. Oh, there's the head of school. I don't know how he got in there. So all of this leads to the end of the year when we have an artist spotlight where students are writing a portfolio of work, anywhere between 2 to 3 songs up to 7 to 10. And it'll be original works mixed with some cover songs. And students are required to prepare all the sheet music for the concert for their portion. I tell students, if you show up to the job and you have all the sheet music, you're the boss. And so our goal is to teach these students how to be the boss when they show up to any type of thing musically, that they have all the tools and they understand how to run an actual showcase. Also, the Academy fee. There are mandatory one-on-one lessons that are part of Music Academy. You can satisfy that in two different ways, either through our private lesson program at Landmark, which is $14.25 a year, or you can have private lessons through your teacher that you've been studying with. The only requirement there is I need to be in contact with your teacher. Our goal is to connect all of these things. If you're working on material for your concert at the end of the year, I want to be in touch with your teacher and I want to say, this is what we're hoping to prepare. And is there anything you're working on with the student that I can help with to further their education while they're in our program and working with them. Another thing I want to show you guys today is, and this is great for college and worked really well last year, was artist portfolios here. So here is our Spotify page. We've got 13 original pieces of music up right now. If I go to the top piece of music and look at the artist, I can visit these student artists, and it has information on the writers and producers and performers on their piece of music. One of our students last year in our program was awarded a very large scholarship to Lipscomb for music production. Colleges seem to like this portfolio-based application. And with all the photos, it shows well. So I'll show you a couple other student portfolios, and then I'll here we go. So here's Emily Joy's portfolio, and you see all the pieces of music she's worked on. So the kids are getting credit for the work they do. It's a way for them to house all this original music that they've finished at such a high level. Students can apply on the Landmark site. I'm not sure exactly. I think Mrs. Harriton, my wife, is going to be putting the link actually in chat. One difference between my program and others is I don't have students that are not in the academy that are in the classes taking it as an elective. Just because of all the facets of the program, it's an either in or out thing. So after the application process, students will be notified if they're going to be part of the program. Let's see if I've forgotten anything. I think that checks all the boxes. It's a really fun program. These students become a little family, and they're working in groups, writing songs together. It's a really tight-knit group of students, and special to see how they all kind of get along. So that's Music Academy. And you can reach me at sharriton@landmark-cs.org.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Mr. Dixon, Ms. Gilkeson, Mr. Harriton. Feel free to drop off. I'm going to do a little sum up and answer questions, but I don't want you all to feel like you need to stay on. I know you've got things to take care of. So I'm going to just kind of reiterate a few things and answer any questions. So I have dropped all the applications in the chat, and we wanted to be sure to have that because there were questions about just being very clear about, yes, you have, while some of you might be trying out film, right? Film 1 or Fashion 1. If you are wanting to do the academy process and be recognized for that, we want to make it just really clear so there are no misunderstandings or miscommunications. And so all of those applications, if you're looking for academy recognition and to be mentored through that program with the 50 hours, et cetera, and to commit to that, then you would need to fill out that application by June 1st for the 21-22 school year. Also for the 21-22 school year, we are adding, not in some cases it's adding and in some cases it's not, but we are communicating the fees for our domestic students taking these courses. In the Music Academy, there's the requirement of the one-on-one lessons that can be met outside of the academy, or that can be taken at Landmark, and that's a fee of $725 per semester for weekly private lessons during the school day. Typically, students either take the lesson during their music academy class or an elective course of their choosing that they are willing to step out of to fit that into their school day, or an open period. And so, for example, my daughter, we do lessons for her at Landmark. And so she's in chorus and she steps out of chorus for a one-on-one voice lesson for 30 minutes once a week with an Atlanta voice teacher who's phenomenal. So that is something that is provided at the school, as well as in the upper film course, Film 4, you would have the academy fee. And that primarily is covering our need to replace equipment as students are taking that on location and so forth. And so that's really all that goes towards at this point in Film 4. The fashion classes use a great amount of fabric consumables. That's what their fee goes for. It's bulk purchases. If students want to, as they present their show, get finer materials that are offered by Mrs. McBride in the bulk purchases, and that would be incumbent upon them on their own to provide, sort of along the lines of Billy Dixon talking through how elaborate a student might want to get with a film. And so that would just need to be a decision made by the parents, but just to be upfront and clear about that. And then in the advanced art or AP art classes, that's a typical fee for that particular course that covers consumables and matting, professional matting for that. So we just want to make sure that all of that is clear about these particular academies, and really excited about the just the showcases that are coming up as these students demonstrate their learning and their portfolio. So at this point, I'm going to stop the recording, and if there are any questions, I'd love to stick around to answer them. So let me go ahead and stop the recording.